Hi y'all, this is Larry with Deep South Texas. It's May 30th and it's time for another garden update. Let's go take a look. You probably remember I planted some okra last week and it looks like it all came up, or at least 85% of it anyway. So I'm used to seeing corn in this plot, so these plants look a little bit fragile to me at this point in time, but they're up. Looks like we're going to have okra this year. Really nice. We have a few of the peanut plants are up as well, about a half a dozen. They're coming along a little bit slower, but they're coming. We also have another zucchini that needs to be picked down here. That's fun. And in addition, we've got another squash coming on. I wasn't expecting that. But there is another squash growing over here, so that's a bonus. The tomatoes are just about all done now. It was 99 to 100 degrees every day last week, and the projection for the next 2 weeks is more of the same. You know, basically around 100 degrees up to 103 for the next 2 weeks, which is as far out as I can see. So I'm waiting for the last tomatoes to ripen up, and then we'll get them picked and start tearing out the tomato plants for this year. This is about the last bunch of Siberian Red Tomatoes. They're starting to color up a little bit, but there's like six tomatoes in this group here, so pretty impressed with the Siberian Reds. We'll be growing those again next year. And the Amish paste is finishing ripening up the tomatoes on this bush. Pretty impressed with this one. In fact, I'm going to save seeds from this tomato here. I'm going to leave this one on the vine until it's fully ripe. And I got it in a little cage, and I put something on top to keep the birds and the insects out of it. I do see that it's beginning to split a little bit, and that may be because it's been so hot. I've increased the watering schedule to every day instead of every other day, and I think probably a little bit too much, but I'm looking for seeds from this one anyway, so it should be good. The sweet potatoes I planted are doing well. They're doing well. So this one here is still the slips that are growing directly from the sweet potato. I haven't harvested those yet and replanted. But the smaller ones here are the ones I planted last week, and they're looking good. And the other sweet potato that I picked those from and put them in the ground, there are some more slips coming up there as well, so that's good. Now, it does get way too hot in the day for these slips that I planted, so by about noon they start wilting down pretty bad. They just don't have enough roots to sustain themselves. So I take about noon, I'll put a tarp over them just to give them some shade until they develop a little bit better root structure, and we'll take a picture of that a little bit later once I have the tarp up. But right now, when I come out in the morning, I mean, and I take the tarp off at night, or I take it off at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But when I come out in the morning, they look good. You know, they look healthy. Looks like we're going to have sweet potatoes. So I came out at noon and was going to put some shade on these sweet potatoes, but it had been cloudy and they look pretty good. It's 2 o'clock now, and they're starting to show a little bit of wilt. You know, not too bad. But I'm going to go ahead and put the shade on now and show you what that looks like. So there it is with the tarp up, using for shade. It works pretty good unless it's windy, and it's a little bit windier today than what it has been. So, but it's only going to be up for a couple hours, and then we'll take it down. Anyway, that's what I do. The turmeric's looking good. Happy about that. Last year I harvested turmeric in November, so I don't know. This came up kind of slow. It might be a little bit later this year. Oh, and I don't want to forget the ginger. It's doing well. So I'm gonna have ginger again this year too. This rogue sunflower continues to grow. It's really an impressive plant at this point. I hope the birds are happy. So the jalapeno plants are really looking good. I've stripped all the jalapenos off for making salsa and some other stuff, but plants are flowering, and they're really getting big, so pretty impressed with that. The pole beans, all they look healthy and they're flowering, they really they aren't putting on any beans. So I think it's just been too hot for them. That's too bad. So it's a little bit early on the leeks, but I'm going to pull one up and see how they're doing. So let's see if we can find one here to pull out. They're small, but okay. Well, there's my first leek for the year. Looks nice. Hopefully they'll get bigger. So I cleaned up that leek a little bit, and if I hold it close enough to the camera, you know, it gets bigger and looks like a real leek. We'll let the other ones get a little bit bigger first. The cucumbers aren't doing real well. We get 1 or 2 cucumbers every day. I did manage to get enough to pickle a couple quarts, so I've got a quart of slices and a quart of pickles. So, you know, not enough, but it's something. I keep saying I'm going to come out here and harvest these leaves from these moringas, but I haven't got that done yet. But I need to get it done. They're all going to flower, and I really want the plant to put its energy into making leaves and not flowers and seed pods. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to get that done, hopefully today. And my last little one on the end that wasn't doing anything, it's finally put out a couple leaves, so it's not dead. That's happy to see that. Let's try to get an update on the chicks. They're not really chicks anymore. They're more like teenagers. They tend to hang around by themselves, not with the other flock. Well, I just thrown some corn out here, so they're out all together now. But most of the day, the 7 teenagers hang out by themselves, and the rest of the flock by itself. And at night, when they go in, these teenagers are sleeping in the nest boxes, so I'm not very happy about that. But hopefully in a little bit they'll be able to figure out that they need to sleep on the roosts and not in the nest boxes. We can only hope anyway. Well, that's about it for the update for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up and please subscribe. Thanks for viewing.